the victory. I got the sweet, sweet victory in Jesus. For he died, but he rose on the third day. That's why we have victory, don't we? Well, welcome.
Right. Okay.
Welcome to Take Center Stage. As featured in the Own It magazine, we have our November cover girl, Dr. Hattie Washington, and we are focusing today on her cookbook. She started off as Dr. Washington for me, but she is now Aunt Hattie. And so I love her book, all her recipes, and she's getting ready to just share with us some of her secrets. So welcome, Hattie. What are you cooking up? Listen, you've been cooking up before cooking for Thanksgiving.
We are getting prepared for Thanksgiving, and you know how you get all your ingredients ready, because one of the things you don't want to do is in the middle of cooking something, you got to run to the store. And then that messes up the whole recipe. So this is got everything ready that I'm going to be cooking. And then I will start this afternoon actually with my collard greens. Where this is the way they come, nice and fresh. They're not frozen. And if people can get fresh vegetables, I recommend that. A lot of people can't get them, so they get the frozen kind, which is fine. But try to stay away from the canned collards because it has a lot of sodium and salt in them. But if you can get fresh collards, and what I do with these, I will first chop them, like shred them. And then I will wash them about 6 or 7 times.
Okay.
And then I took everything out of my sink, clean the sink, and then you need enough space to wash these. And then after that, I put them in baggies and put them in the freezer. I'm not the freezer, in the refrigerator. So when I get ready to cook them on Thanksgiving morning, then they're ready. And what I cook them in, I have smoked turkey necks.
Ooh, those are my favorite. Smoked
turkey necks. And I have smoked turkey wings. So since you can't buy them combined, so if I were doing it, I would combine the necks and wings in one packet. Yeah. So I take half of the wings and then 2 of the necks. And I cook those until they're almost done. And then you put in your collards. Because I like my meat falling off of the bone.
Yes.
Because I sent you a picture of one collard greens that I did, I think last year before last, and you can look in the collards and see the meat off of the bone. And then what you do with collards, you put a half a teaspoon of baking soda. And that takes the bitterness out of the collard greens. And then I put onions in my collards, just diced onions. Again, when they're almost done, you don't want to cook them too, because if you want your onions to be seen, then when the collards are almost done, then you put your diced onions in your collards. And another secret that I have, I put a tablespoon of maple syrup.
Ooh.
My standby maple syrup that you use for almost everything you cook, just to take the edge off, to make it pop.
Yeah.
So this is my organic maple syrup. And many times you use that in place of some sugar. So this is real good to use. So another thing I may do with my collards, the old people used to do this. After they get, again, almost done, you take potato and you peel them. You remember, and you cut it in halves or in quarters, depends on how big the potato is. You put it in your collards. And it absorbs all of that all those nutrients from the juice. And in the potato, and those people who don't eat carbs, this is a good carb to eat because it has all the nutrients in there.
And it's fried. It's not fried and full of oil, right? It's just full of juice. It's not fried and full of oil. It's full of the juices from the collard greens, which is healthy.
Yes, pulls all of that. And another thing, the older people used to drink the juice from the collards. They call it pot liquor. You remember that?
I remember that.
And they would keep it in the refrigerator. And they would say, whatever ails you, get some of that pot liquor from your greens. And that is so true in terms of the nutrients. So don't throw away that juice when you cook your collards. Please save it. And it could be a broth or it can be put over something else that you're cooking. Yes. So those are the collard greens. And don't forget to put a few potatoes in your collard greens.
I'm going to do that this year because I'm going to tell you, I remember that. And I remember that with more so with the kale, with the kale.
Kale and cabbage. You can, any of those vegetables, you can put potato inside of those. And same thing with the juice. The juice will go in the potato and don't throw that juice away. Any of those nice fresh vegetables.
Yeah, the stalk is so good.
Yes. Absolutely.
So keep it. Oh my God. So talk to us about some of the family traditions. Like, what do you guys do? Like, you know, when you watch movies, you always see them going from Thanksgiving. I'm like, oh, well, how do these people have all this time off from work, right? They think they take Thanksgiving right into the Christmas holiday. So what are some of the traditions that you and your family have?
But, you know, they change. Before my daughter got married, you know, I would have Thanksgiving or I would go to relatives for Thanksgiving. But then she's married and her mother-in-law has Thanksgiving. So for the last, I guess, 6 or 7 years, we come to Florida for Thanksgiving because her family comes in from Chicago and Martha's Vineyard, wherever they are. They come in for Thanksgiving. And we just have a lovely, lovely time together. So that tradition now is here in Florida. Now that I live here, then I'm certainly a part of that tradition, and I will be joining cooking. So I will be cooking the turkey, and I'll be cooking the collard greens for the big family. But I will also cook a second turkey so I can have here at the house, along with my famous sweet potato pies.
So talk to us about those sweet potato pies.
Well, the sweet potato pies, if you look in my cookbook, I have the secret, and I don't want to tell you too many secrets, then you don't need to buy the book. But one of the things I do, because we have so many people in the family who may be gluten intolerant, so I have the organic whole wheat pie crust that I'll be using for 2 of the pies. And then I have the gluten-free pie crust for those families who, persons who can't have gluten. So I'll satisfy everybody. And these are the sweet potatoes, just plain old sweet potatoes. It's what you do with them once you cook them.
Yes.
That makes the difference. And I have plenty because I'll be making candy yams in addition to the sweet potato pie. But the secret of my sweet potato pie, once you make up your pie with everything that you're going to put in the pie, and I put my special seasoning and the butter, and I mix up my sugar, and I have different types of sugar. I have the light brown sugar, and then I have the brown sugar replacement that is done by stevia and Truvia, and then I have my maple syrup.
Okay.
Then I have an organic raw brown sugar that I mix with it. So it is as healthy as you can get without it being a sour sweet potato pie.
Because sweet potato, you really got to get it to be sweet. Like you got to
you want it sweet, but you don't want to use all regular sugar. There's so many different substitutes you can use now. You can't even tell the difference. But my secret, in addition to my cinnamon and my I use a little allspice, a nutmeg, and just touch of ginger. And then after you mix it, then the secret is, depends on the size. For 4, I'll probably beat up 4 egg whites until they are peaky and they're white. And then you fold the egg white into the sweet potato mixture. You fold it and you don't mix it. You just gently fold it into it Then you put that into your pie. And then when the pies are cooking, the egg white makes it so light. And it doesn't fall. Many sweet potato pies, once they're done, they fall.
Yeah,
and
they do.
That sweet potato pie is good, but it's about this thick.
You are so right. You are so right with that. And we used to always think that that's normal, right? So if you didn't know,
you don't know.
That's normal, right?
So you fold that into it. You don't even taste the egg. It's just so fluffy, almost like a meringue, but it is the sweet potato pie that is so fluffy. When you cut it with your fork, it's like, wow, what is in this pie? So that's one of the secrets of the my sweet potato pie. You have to get the book to see what the other secrets are.
Gotta get the book. I got the book. And I am so excited because you share the 3 cheese macaroni and cheese.
Oh.
I'm going to actually do that for my family this year. I'm going to use your recipe for my family. So excited to do that.
Always, to me, we always use more than one type of cheese. You got to have your sharp cheese. And then you have your medium, because you don't want your whole macaroni cheese to be sharp. So you have your medium cheese. And then I have the Vermont. I love the Vermont sharp cheese. Then you have your regular sharp, and then you have the medium. And also the secret is, see, this is shredded. I also have some shredded that is reduced fat. So try to reduce your calories whenever you can. But when you cut your cheese and you're mixing it, the secret is don't put all your cheese in your mac and cheese at the same time.
Okay.
Because you want 3 dimensions of cheese. You want your cheese first to be melted all up, that you're shredded.
Okay.
And then when you dice your cheese, you're going to have 2 sizes that you're going to dice. One smaller, about the size of about a, say, 1/16 of an inch. If you take this and cut just the edge off, this whole thing could probably make about, go this way and each way 4 times across this way and about 10 across.
Right.
And for the next size, you're going to do maybe 2 across and 6 across. So you have 2 different sizes.
Wow.
So when you mix it all together, some will melt all the way up, which is fine, what you want. And then some will be smaller chunks. And then some will be the bigger chunks. So when you eat your mac and cheese, you want to see it.
Yeah,
you don't want to raise the cheese.
Yeah, you do.
Because some people cook the mac and cheese and you don't see any cheese at all. You just see the essence of it. Not that it's not good. But most people like to see a little cheese in their mac and cheese. And when you put it in the oven, it's going to melt anyway. So have bigger chunks so that it'll be a 3-dimensional type of mac and cheese.
Yeah, and that's what I'm used to. So when I grew up, the way that my mom made it was you saw chunks of cheese on, throughout the mac and cheese. You just saw the chunks of cheese. I didn't know that there was a variation because my mom didn't teach us how to cook. I know with her, I learned by watching her cook. And that's why we always, what is it called? When you don't measure, it's a what?
Yeah.
It's a maven, right? You're
right. A pinch of this and a dash of that.
Yeah, a pinch of this, a dash of that. And that's so it. And that's how I learned how to cook to taste. It's just like experimenting and trying things out. Now, do you use any ricotta cheese in your mac and cheese at any time?
I don't use that in my mac and cheese. I don't. I know people who do, but I don't use it in my mac. I didn't finish. I use milk.
Okay.
I use the low-fat, lactate-free milk.
Okay.
And then I use a can of carnation milk, which has good fat in it. It's good fat in it. And then I use real butter. When I say real butter, no margarine. And one of the butters that I've found to be really pure is Kerrygold.
Yeah.
Because if you take a stick of butter and put it in a dish and put it in the microwave, and if you see some foam on the top of it, some milk, it's not really, they're taking up your butter weight with milk still in it. So Kerrygold is pretty pure unless you get the Amish from the Amish market.
Okay.
They have nice pure butter. And when I'm doing a lot of cooking for my sweet potato pies or mac and cheese, etc., I always get a big container of butter. So that the Kerrygold, you probably use one stick just for your mac and cheese and one stick. So just get a big container of pure gold from the, I don't know if you're close to an Amish market, but if you're close to Whole Foods or a Publix or some type of, they usually have the Amish products in their market as well.
And you need a lot of butter when you're for Thanksgiving. Sorry, you just can't be thinking like you. I hear you have some good, healthy, quality choices and ingredients. But there's a certain thing that comes with Thanksgiving. Like be good all the time.
Right.
This Thanksgiving, you just cut up. You just eat. It's just eat.
Oh.
Your family. Just enjoy, and I
wanted to share with people, when you're cooking, don't use regular salt. Please use sea salt. Sea salt is good for you. It's good for your kidneys. And in the back of my book, I have a whole research article on the difference between sea salt and regular salt. So read that, but before you start cooking, please don't send your high blood pressure up any more than it is with the regular salt. So get sea salt, and don't use garlic salt. Use garlic powder. A lot of people use garlic salt, and it has a lot of sodium in it. So use garlic powder, or there's another jar of just garlic that you can use. You can use that, but try not to use it as celery salt, garlic salt, onion salt, any type of salt. Just use pure onion powder or garlic powder or what have you.
Yeah, and they're also making another. They have garlic sea salt, so that's really nice.
Yes, they do. I saw that the other day, and they have garlic, pepper, and garlic, and have different flavors, but just don't have any salt in it.
Yes, and it's always good. And salt it helps cleanse, so it's a cleanser as well.
It is. It really is.
So but I want to hold up your book because I'm telling you the page quality, just the design of the book alone. I mean, it is the quality of the book. I mean, it's amazing, and you can get it. You can get this softback too. I did hardcover.
Yes, paperback. Also, you can get an ebook for those people who like to cook and they're going to put it on the phone or the computer. You can get an ebook as well, but most people like to hold the book in their hand so they can put it on a stand as they're cooking and write in the book. In the back of my book, I have several pages.
We can ready to show it because we got the book right here. So let us show where they can create their ingredients.
Right.
You
make a change, and say, oh, instead of using organic maple syrup, I use Truvia or whatever you use. You can just make that in there, say page 83, I change. And so you can, next time you know what you're going to do.
Yeah, and then she even has where you can create a grocery list in here.
Yes,
and substitution chart, right? Aunt Hattie's new recipe. So you can add to Aunt Hattie's recipes. This is a gorgeous book, and the price is so reasonable. And then here she has her glossary of cooking terms and definitions. So if you're one that wants to really know, this is so important for you to have as a reference, for you to really get in. And I'm so looking forward to those days that my world really calms down to go back. Because cooking, as you shared earlier with me, cooking is relaxing.
Yes, it is.
It's very relaxing. So what do you have next for us?
Well, I wanted to tell people the secret of cooking a turkey. After you thaw your turkey and wash it out really good, and I try to marinated the night before, put sea salt over it, and put it in your roaster and just let it stay in the refrigerator overnight. Sea salt, a little bit of garlic, and just let it stay there. And put sea salt on the inside of the turkey too, because when you bite down on your turkey and the outside is nice and seasoned, and then the inside is not. So turn the turkey upside down and put seasoning on the inside. Now, I like to put my stuffing inside of the turkey. Some people make it separately, and that's fine. But the reason I put it inside, because all of the juices from the turkey, they go into that seasoning, and when you can get it out. But I never make enough stuffing, so I always have to do a separate pan, because people love my stuffing. So I'll tell you about the stuffing in a few minutes. But the turkey, the secret to cooking a turkey, you need enough space in your roaster. And some people like to cook it in an open pan. I don't like to do that, because to me it's tougher that way. You put it in an open roaster. Let's see if I can bring this down. An open roaster. Now don't cook it with the, right. You got to take the paper off. I know you know that, but I just demonstration for the size of it. And then lay all around your turkey. Take a celery stick and cut it into about 5 pieces, and just lay it all around the turkey, and lay some all inside the turkey. Even if you're going to put stuffing inside the turkey, still put your stuffing, your celery sticks inside the turkey. And then you really have to take heavy duty aluminum foil, and you cover the turkey maybe 3 different times so no steam can escape. And that's the secret of your turkey being very tender. Cover it with aluminum and tuck it around all of the sides. And try not to have it laying on the turkey if you can help. You don't want the aluminum foil to pull the skin off. So try to do it loose enough so it's not on top of the turkey. And then you put your top on your turkey. And then you cook it. I like to cook my turkey for about 2.5 to 3 hours. It depends on the size of the turkey. And you want it to be done. And then you can take off the aluminum foil, and then you can let it brown by itself. And you can use those thermometers. You can check to see if it's done. Or like the old people did, if you stick a knife in it and it didn't come back within the blood, that means it's almost done. Then you can take the top off of it and let it finish cooking, and it's going to brown as it's cooking. Now, once it's done, if for some reason you like it just a little browner, then you can put the broiler on, but you got to watch it, because it'll be brown more than you want to. Turn it around. Even if your oven is balanced, still turn your turkey around halfway, just to make sure that the other side is evenly cooked. And then once it's cooked, you got to let it set for at least 30 minutes before you start slicing it. So keep that in mind as you are cooking your turkey. And then the juice that's in the turkey with the celery, one of the things I also do, I put the necks and the gizzards and all around the turkey as well. So that's what I may use to put in the gravy, or I may use it put in the stuffing. If I'm going to put it in the stuffing, then I cook it ahead of time, and then I'll take the neck and put it in the stuffing. That is if I'm going to put the stuffing in the side of the turkey. So it depends on what you like. If you like your gizzards inside of your stuffing, if you like a part of your gravy, you can just use the gizzard and the liver for your gravy, or not use anything. So different variation you can use for your turkey. And then when you take it out, just let it set for half an hour. And take that into consideration when you're cooking your turkey and you're going to serve your turkey, if you're going to serve it hot. And then all the drippings from the turkey, you can use to make your gravy. And there are different ways that I make gravy. If you want brown gravy or you want white gravy. If you want brown gravy, then I make gravy separately in a frying pan, and I use a flour, regular flour, or I use almond flour, mix it together, brown it, and then you just put the juice from the turkey in your gravy, and that's the brown gravy. If you like white gravy, then I use organic cornstarch.
Oh, okay.
And you put it in water, and then you pour that in your drippings, and you kind of stir it, watch it, because you don't want to get too thick.
Right.
And then if you want more gravy, just take a container of low sodium chicken broth, a turkey broth, and pour that in to make more gravy. If you having a big family and everybody loves your gravy. And so you do or you can put more water in your turkey when you're cooking it. Then you'll generate more juice.
More juice.
So that's just a little secret that that's your own nuances as you're cooking.
That's it.
That's the turkey. Now your stuffing. The stuffing is got to be the highlight. And the way I do my stuffing, I use cornbread stuffing. Cornbread stuffing. So this is a gluten-free honey cornbread mix.
Oh, well, Aunt Hattie, before you go into that, we want to share with the audience some of what else you do. So before we go into that part, we're gonna take a quick mad dash over to, Driven to Succeed. We want them to know that we're in the holidays, we're in the gift giving season, and we want to have them be able to look at some of the products that you have, some of the beautiful tops that you have that are inspirational, and just really, really an opportunity for us to spread the word about being driven to succeed, especially when we're going into the new year. We want to align with our purpose, our calling. What is it that we want to do for the coming year? How do we want to be successful? You have shown us all the success and all the love that you have with the recipe book. And so you also have, and this is not the only 2 books either. You have multiple books out there, but to succeed, this is the business side. Aunt Hattie. And so we're going to do a little commercial on the Driven to Succeed. And when we come back, we're going to go back over your books, and then we're going to do our second part of this show.
Sounds good.
All right. Those are amazing products. Go to Dr. Washington's website, drhnwashington.com, so that you can actually see the mugs, the t-shirts, the sweatshirts, all of the gear, everything that you can do with Driven to Succeed and support. Now, you said something about proceeds or something like that before. So take it away.
A partial proceeds from all of my books and the products are donated to a foster board scholarship fund called Aunt Hattie Scholarship Fund at Coppin State University, where the young men can go to college. Not just my foster boys. Now we've opened it up to any foster kids, girls or boys, who have aged out of the foster care system and they want to go to college, but they don't have any way of going. So therefore they can go. And if they do go to college, if they get money from the state, because the state supposedly have money to pay for foster kids, when holidays come and other kids go home, these kids can't go home because they don't have a home. So my scholarship fund will help pay for those kids to stay on campus during the holidays and during the summers. And that's with Coppin State, because I have a relationship with Coppin. And these kids can still eat, they can help around campus and do different things because they have to be on campus because they don't have a home to go to unless they come to visit me or some of my board members. But just in case they don't, I have a place for them to stay. So the funds from my books and also for my birthday, I'd like to thank everybody who made a donation to my birthday. I heard that we got $900 through Facebook, and Tara is telling me how much we've gotten because money was still coming in for my birthday. But thank people so much for their generosity. So that's what we do with the proceeds from the book. Not only is it a good book, it's also a good book for a good cause, or good products for a good cause. And you're helping kids to get an education that won't be able to get one any other way.
Yes, that's amazing. I mean, you speak to the totality of someone who really cares about the community, leadership in action, not only looking for people to succeed in their careers and business, but also the importance of giving back to the community.
Right.
Like, blessed to be a blessing. Blessed to be a blessing. And I think that more of us need to know that. Hey, you busy over there with all those notifications.
Right.
So listen, share with us, because before we jump back into the meal, I want you to share the books that you were bringing out. I saw you bringing out some more books, and
yes,
be able to give an opportunity for our audience to see the books and all the work that you've put out.
Well, the third book is the anthology that's produced by the Sisters for Sisters Network under the leadership of the great Peggy Morris and all of the great sisters. So there are any number of sisters who have put their stories in this book. And we have an anthology, and the stories are so motivating, and so empowering and inspirational of women who have gone through adversity and how they overcame and what they have to share with other people who are going through that. So that's Always Sisters, the power of sisterhood and helping women connect, women helping women to connect. So that one was published last month.
Nice.
And one that just came off the press, and I don't think
yes.
This one is Think Pink, and it came out in October, the trial because of Women's Month and the Breast Cancer Month and all of this. So the founder, Antonio Crawford out of California, wanted to highlight women who have started businesses and changed the lives of people in their community. And I was honorably selected to talk about on Hattie's Place, how I founded that business, how I started that business, and what were the sacrifices and the challenges of opening a boys' home, which took me 3 years to do the proposal for that boys' home. And if it weren't for my daughter, who was in law school at the time, I wouldn't have understood the regulations.
Right.
So we talk about that with Think Pink, success stories from women who launch businesses and change lives. So we're very proud of this book that will be on Amazon, I believe, in another week or so.
Oh, awesome. Great. That is amazing. I'm so glad to see that, because that was actually in the magazine, but we knew it wasn't out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's awesome.
They're getting the pre-sale. If they go to my website, they can get it on the pre-sale. So is my cookbook. The hardback is on sale and probably will be on sale through Christmas. I think I'm gonna keep it on through Christmas. The hardback. So you can get that for a present for people. Not only is it a good present, but it's also helping with the scholarship fund. And also the products, the merchandise is on sale. I think it's 15% discount. So they can check and see what is the discount for the merchandise.
I am plugging away and putting in your website so that everyone has it on the Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Yeah. So there it is, guys. Click on the link and go shopping.
There we go.
Shopping, wonderful, inspirational gifts. Especially those who are driven to succeed, who want to venture out and do that thing that they've been dying to do. They have the Driven to Succeed book. Those of you who want to give, because not only for Thanksgiving, but we are going to be cooking all holiday season. Because we got Thanksgiving, we got Christmas, we got all the Christmas parties leading up to Christmas, and then we have New Year. So there's plenty in these books to get you going for ending off your year strong and starting off your year strong and on the right foot. And so we left off at cornbread stuffing.
Marissa, I wanted to say to people that the cookbook has won Amazon #1 bestseller in not just one category, but 6 different categories. One for breakfast, one for soups and stews, one for my desserts, one for the resource in the back of the book, and one for, I think, entrees. There's 6 different categories. It's on my website and my newsletter, but 6 different categories. And I was blown away and was very thankful that, wow, I know I love the cookbook, but it won. And of course, the Driven to Succeed has won Amazon #1 bestseller also. And then of course it was featured by Congressional Black Caucus one year. I was a featured author, and by ASALA one year, which stands for Association for the Study of African American Life and Culture. So they featured the Driven to Succeed book one year, and they also featured the cookbook one year as well. So I'm very blessed and feel very honored that my books have really changed the lives of people. When they read them, they become friends of mine, and of course I feel as if I know them and they feel as if they know me. So that's where we are. Now the stuffing.
Cornbread stuffing.
You don't have Thanksgiving without stuffing. And I said to the people on Facebook, if you are hungry, please don't watch this show. Because if you're hungry, can't wait to Thanksgiving. Say, I'm going to wait, and I'm going out today, and I'm going to fix me some of those sweet potatoes or something today. And just like people, don't go shopping in the grocery store when you're hungry.
Yes.
You just be buying everything when you get home. You say, I only want one thing. So, but the stuffing, as I said, I use a cornbread base, but then I mix gluten-free seasoning, and I also may use Jiffy corn mix. So it depends on how much cornbread you want in it. So sometimes I make the cornbread first, then I crumble it up, and then I mixed the gluten-free seasoning with it, so it can be for those people who can't eat it all gluten-free. And if I make it for people who just can't have gluten at all, then I just use gluten-free seasoning mix for that. But I put hot sausage, a container of hot sausage in it. So I take the hot sausage and it's sauteed in the pan with onions and celery, bell peppers in a pan. And when it gets almost done, then you can pour all of the drippings and that over into your crumbs with your onions, more onions and celery. And then you put in your sage, celery seeds, not celery salt. And you mix that with butter. And I use the drippings from the sausage, but also use chicken broth. Or I use the broth from the turkey if you have it left over. Sometimes if you're making the stuffing and you want some for gravy, I may mix chicken broth in the pure broth from the turkey, and then I divide it. Use some for the stuffing and use some for the gravy. And as you start cooking, you decide how you want to do that. Because the chicken broth, I use low sodium chicken broth. And so that you can have more chicken broth than you are able to make with your turkey. And then you stuff your turkey with it. Oh, by the way, I put a couple of eggs in my stuffing. Okay. Because I like it light. A couple of eggs and mix it up. Then you stuff your turkey on the inside as much as you can. Let some come on the outside. And then you put the rest of it in a pan so that you can put that in the oven as well.
Yeah, and I like two parts of that. I like the different textures of the stuffing. So I like the inside, inside.
Yes.
But I like it when the crisp topping, and I like that especially with cornbread, because then you get to taste the sweetness of the cornbread in with the stuffing, and it's like heaven. So I love that, and I love the sauce, the side where if you let it go long enough, it's still a little mushy because of the juices from the turkey.
Yes. And if people don't eat pork, they can have hot turkey sausage, or don't put any meat at all in there for those people who don't eat pork. And sometimes if I want a different dimension, I will get the chicken stuffing, and this is crunchy. And so if you want a little crunch to your stuffing, sometimes I may mix a box of this because I'm a mixer.
Yeah.
And then people say, what do you have? I have cornbread, and then I have the gluten-free, or if I have just a gluten-free, depends on my audience, my family. And then I may put a box of that, because stuffing will never, ever go to waste.
No.
But never go to waste. You can't have too much stuffing.
And with the meat inside of it, so two things. With the meat inside the stuffing, it's really kind of a meal itself, right?
Absolutely.
And also with the meat inside the collard greens, that's also a meal itself.
Absolutely.
It's falling off the bones, and that's how I
look
at it with the
you got to have it falling off the bone. And I did not say, in addition to the sausage, these necks and everything that you have left over, what you don't put in your gravy, you can put in the stuffing.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm losing my power. I didn't even know the darn thing was
not plugged in.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
All right.
Yeah, so your dinner, for people just want to eat, try to make it as healthy as you can with the fresh vegetables and etc. And another thing I do is with my cabbage, and some of the pictures that I showed you, just saute a cabbage, shred your cabbage, and you saute it in a little olive oil with onions, diced onions. Then you take a bag of shredded carrots. Then I use baby kale, and you saute all of that together in a pan. Now, I don't like it too done.
Yeah.
Sometimes I fry it a little bit and make it fried. But if not, I make it sort of just done enough so that you can crunch it and it's done. And boy, that's a meal in itself too. Your cabbage, kale, shredded carrots, and onions. And then again, my sea salt. Look, and I also put a little crushed pepper sometimes, spread crushed peppers in it. And don't forget your tablespoon of what? Maple syrup.
Yes,
Your cabbage and just saute it together. My goodness, that's a meal that anybody can eat. Very, very healthy and delicious.
Oh my God, it all sounds so good. So listen, Dr. Washington, Aunt Hattie, you have a recipe for a happy life. So as we close out, would you share with the audience your recipe for and the importance? Like, this is Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Well, let's try to forget, let it go, and love. We don't have to stay with everybody all the time, but let's this be a peaceful season. After all we've gone through with the pandemic and everything over the last 2 years too, not 1, 2 years, that we just really find the value in just letting go, forgiving, and just having a peace of mind. So share the recipe for a happy life.
And I agree, Marissa, there's so much going on in the world. Until every morning you wake up, I don't care how bad our situation is, there's something we can be thankful for. It's no more than I'm still alive, I'm breathing, maybe in pain, but thank the Lord. So many more people are worse off than you.
Yes.
So there's always something to give God thankful for. And I always say, before you start asking God for something, Lord, would you give me this? Lord, would you give me that? Thank him first. for what
Yes.
he's already done for you and thinking what he's going to do.
Yes.
Because if you have faith, you know he's going to do some more stuff for you because you have his favor. So again, my recipe for a happy life, and it's in my cookbook as well. I said a pinch of prayer for a purpose, a cup full of commitment for a cause, a handful of hugs for the heart, a spoonful of smiles for the soul, and a fork full of faith for God's favor. Marinate them all together with patience and perseverance, and I would say persistence. Bake until brown and golden, and serve with TLC, tender love and care. So that's my recipe for a happy life, not just for Thanksgiving, not just for Christmas, but for every day God gives you. Just be thankful and use that recipe and be happy. No one can make you happy but you.
Nobody. Nobody can do it but you.
That's right.
You have to make that choice. And so thank you so very much. I mean, like I said earlier today, if I was not hungry before I spoke to you, I was starving. I had to make me something to eat. I know she's like, where is she with posting and all that stuff? I was like, I'm eating because that is so, I was like, this is so, everything is so delicious. Here's the recipe book, and I got mine. Yeah. I love the hard copy because it just is so traditional, it's so classic. And then when you are cooking and you want to put it on your easel, on your kitchen counter, you want to be able to open it up nice and wide.
Absolutely.
So that you can actually see and view as you cook. And so this is beautiful. You are such a beautiful spirit. Thank you again for letting us into your home and sharing your space of love.
It's my pleasure. If anyone wants an apron, they can get that on my website as well. So they make nice and sturdy aprons that have the pockets too. So it says Aunt Hattie across my book, and it says a pinch of this and a dash of that.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
The way people used to cook.
Yes. Until we got all classy.
You got to measure this and measure that.
Yes. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we just want to say thank you so very much for tuning in. This is the Author's Corner. We got so excited when you came in. This is the Author's Corner. This is the November Own It CoverGirl, Dr. Hattie Washington. We are so thankful for having us.
Allowing thank you.
Yes, allowing us into your home just about every day this month, every week this month. And so we're just so thankful. We're looking forward to her. I'm announcing I'm going to come out and hang out with Hattie either December or by January. We are coming out to do a face-to-face interview. I'm so excited about that. We will keep you in the loop with that. And just thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving, Hattie. I'm Hattie. And
thank you. Thank everybody. And just be safe and just eat, drink, and be merry. Then tomorrow we diet.
Get back on track, right? We are so out. Thank you so very much, people.
Okay, good.